Hello again. Today we're going to be heading up to Atalaya, which is an area that some people kind of bypass. It's between Marbella, Puerto Banús and Estepona, near San Pedro, near Guadalmina, not far from the beach and not far from the village of Benahavis. So we're going to be having a look at what's going on here, some of the developments, the prominent developments, some of the new stuff that's being built, and give you a little spin round. We are in Atalaya. Now, people say, where the hell's Atalaya? Atalaya is kind of next to San Pedro, next to Guadalmina, and it's an area that is home to two golf courses. In fact, you can just see it in the middle distance there. That is the, I think that's the Atalaya Old Course, and there's also a new course. And it's really well located because the Atalaya itself is an area that is just located off the Benahavis road. So behind us, literally 3 or 4 minutes, you come to Benahavis village, which is very beautiful, and it's known as the gastronomic capital of Andalusia because it has more restaurants per head of population than anywhere else in southern Spain. But also the other way, 2 or 3 minutes, and you're on the coast road and down towards the beach. And then you have San Pedro, literally 3 or 4 minutes along the highway. You have Puerto Banús, probably 6-7 minutes. Marbella, 10 to 12 minutes, and then the other way, Estepona, probably 15 minutes. So you kind of got everything around you, but it's quite a residential area, so it has a nice feel to it. I'm just going to wait for. Oh no, I'm not going to wait. Hang on a second. So it has a lot to offer everybody, whether you're looking for permanent living, second homes, access to all the best places, a bit of golf, and it's been developed. In terms of residential stock, it's been developed over the last, I would say, 15 years. On our right is one of the latest developments, which is Terrazas de Atalaya, which is very popular. We have people wanting to see that all the time. It's been built now for around, I would say 3 or 4 years probably. On the left is one of the kind of original developments, which is Marques de Atalaya, which is very popular. We always have people wanting to see properties in there. That was developed by an Irish company, and it's popular because the apartments are really large. So a 2-bedroom, normally 120, 130 square meters inside, plus big terraces. You've also got on-site indoor and outdoor pools, tennis court, gymnasium, spa, 24-hour security. So it ticks a lot of boxes for that.
What sort of prices?
Prices in there, a 2-bed will start at around 350, 360 with no views. And then it'll go up to sort of 450. On the right hand side here is another one of the new boys. So this is Marques de Guadalmina, and we had a few clients buy in there off plan. They were going to develop, I think, 4 phases, but they only developed the first 1 or 2, and they then sold the plot for phases 3 and 4 to Grupo TM, which is this plot here, and this is the latest development and probably the last development in this area because it takes up the last bit of land, which is Atalaya Emotion. Starting prices in there were from 395. I think the price is now for a 2-bedder around 450, 460. But that's a really nice plot. On our left is a development called Benatalaya, which was built by Grupo Erasur, who built some really good stuff here. And again, that carries on with the Marques de Atalaya kind of formula with 24-hour security, indoor and outdoor pools. So there's a few little facilities on site, and 2 beds start in there at around 320. Then, importantly, on the right-hand side is the school, which is the Atalaya College, which is one of the most recently opened schools on the Costa del Sol. So it's bilingual. School, and then next door to that is the Mercadona supermarket. So this area, I mean, these two, the supermarket and the school, were built probably 5 or 6 years ago. So the area is up and coming. There's things being added all the time. On our left is a plot where they're talking about having another commercial area with shops and restaurants. Whether that happens and when it happens is another thing. In front of us is a development called Gazules del Sol, which is not my favourite architecturally, but again is proved very popular with buyers. The price is there from around 300. On our left is Las Lomas de Conde, Luque, all 2-bed apartments, again starting around 300,000. So when you have a client who likes this area, there's 5 or 6 developments that you can show them Obviously the newer ones attract a premium because the new builds always do, but the older ones like these are only probably 10 or 12, 15 years old max. So there's not a huge amount of reform to do in them if you wanted to bring them up to standard, and you're paying a lower price. But there's a lot of choice in this area for people. We actually have a separate little website for this area because it is so active. It's a good price point, and there's lots of different choice.
Is it mostly apartments for sale?
Well, it is in Atalaya, but then we come into this area, which is mainly villas, and this is an area called La Alqueria, and you'll see immediately that a lot of the villas look the same.
Oh yeah.
But they're actually developed by a lot of different developers. It's just that this is a new area that has been developed over the last, I would say, 3 or 4 years, and of course this is the style that most people went for during that recent times, which is the white square contemporary look. And this area has exploded price-wise. And again, it's popular because of its location. It's very close to everything, close to the Benahavis road. The plots aren't the biggest here, so it has quite a residential feel to it. But it's popular because it's of the location. It's popular for expats who want to live here and move here because it's near the schools. Even if you don't go to Atalaya College, it's only 10 minutes drive to other schools. So yeah, it's a strong area.
And technically we're in Estepona municipality, correct? Or were we?
Well,
Or just
good
Benahavis?
question, because half of Atalaya is Benahavis and half of it is Estepona.
Gotcha.
So we're right on the border of the two here. So just on our left down there is Atalaya Hills, which again, very popular development of apartments. But this is all Alqueria.
So Alqueria is mostly villas and Atalaya is mostly apartments.
Yeah,
Is that about right?
Exactly. And then what we'll find, we won't do it today, but what we'll find is if we carry on going this way, you will eventually come to El Paraíso, which is another area altogether, which is a little bit older. So you'll notice that the villas there are sort of 20, 30 years old. So anybody who maybe can't afford to get into this neighbourhood because the villas are all newly built and expensive, there'll be something in El Paraíso that might float their boat. And El Paraíso is basically the other side of this golf course.
And who buys typically? What sort of people? Is it families? Is it young people?
I would say it's younger families here because they want access to the coast. If they're ferrying the kids around to football and golf and ballet or whatever, they want to be able to get out and about and have everywhere within 10 minutes, and this is the perfect place for them. So I would say younger families, complete different mix of nationalities. It's not just English or Scandi, it's a real mixture. And so it makes it very cosmopolitan. But it's a nice, very well regarded area. And as I say, this section particularly, this villa section, has really come on over the last few years. Just ahead of us on the top of the hill is Lomas del Marques, which is another one just at the edge of Atalaya, apartments and penthouses. Again, the starting price is around 300,000. So for apartments in this area, you're looking at probably 300,000 to 500,000-600,000. That's the sweet spot. For villas here, you can't get much for less than 2 million nowadays.
It's a big jump, huh?
It's a big jump. I mean, it used to be that before all these villas were built, you could find something for 1.5 quite comfortably. Now it's getting really difficult, and there are some here that are priced. We have a listing here that's priced at 6 million, and there are others that are priced higher than that.
There's quite a distinct, different style of the developments here, isn't there?
Yeah.
Some seem to be very terracotta, traditional, curvy sort of Andalusia sort of style, and then the other half are like the white Scandinavian minimalist cubic type style.
Yeah.
Very, very different, right next to each other.
It's interesting, isn't it? I actually prefer it when there's a uniformity of architecture, because I think it makes the place, I don't know, I just think it looks better. So if you have a resort, for instance, like La Cala Golf Resort, everything is white up there, because I think that's one of the rules of the neighbourhood. Here, because you've got different developers developing different plots, obviously as long as they conform to heights and whatever they have to do, and using the space within the plot, then they're fine to develop however they want, really.
The other interesting thing I've noticed is that they're all very very low rise. Huh? They only go up 2 or 3 floors by the looks of it. They look like more like townhouses or something like
You mentioned that on the last video you did. Are you a bit overwhelmed?
Well, no, but other parts of the coast when you say that they're apartment buildings, you get 12-story, building blocks.
And of course,
this is very different. This is much more like a Andalusia village style thing, all very higgledy-piggledy, but kind of low rise. You're an apartment, but you're practically a townhouse, aren't you?
Yeah.
You might have a neighbor downstairs that makes it not the case, but it's quite distinctive compared to other parts of the Costa.
No, it's interesting. And of course, the greatest example of that, high-rise thing is Benidorm, isn't it? Where they deliberately set out to create this almost city in the skies, which worked phenomenally well. I mean, if anyone's never been to Benidorm, for all its pros and cons, it's an amazing place to visit.
Although this year so far, crime is up 60+%.
Oh,
in Benidorm.
Crime figures?
In Benidorm.
You've caused a storm on LinkedIn, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
So I want to stop and show you this, because this is probably...
Here on the right.
Yeah, the one development that gets... Whenever I'm passing it, clients always say, wow, stop the car, what is that? And they look like individual villas, but they're actually apartments. But it's just a very beautifully done development. It's called Capanes del Golf. And again, a really popular development, 24-hour security, lots of outdoor pools, indoor pool, and the apartments are beautiful, the grounds are beautiful. It's a very strong development. If people want to move here or want a second home here, and they have around probably 400,000 for a 2-bed, then you can be in here. So that's it, kind of in front of us now. And the beauty is it's almost like an island within a golf course. It's a 9-hole golf course at the moment, designed by Dave Thomas, so it has a couple of lakes. And so the properties are within the golf course, which goes around you. So it feels very special. They're actually extending the golf course. This land kind of behind us and to the left, the left is the river valley going up towards Benahavis town centre. But behind us, the land is actually being developed by the people who own Puente Romano and Marbella Club. So they're extending the golf course to an 18-hole course, and there's rumours of a sports academy, a tennis academy with Rafa Nadal involved, and all sorts of things. So this whole area is on the rise, and if you're looking to invest this side of Marbella, there are 2 distinct roads that you need to investigate. One is the Benahavis Road, which is kind of what we're on here and thereabouts, and then the other one is the Ronda Road, which is just the other side of where we're going, ahead of us. And they're the 2 areas that has some really interesting developments and stock to look at. So here, about 400,000 will get you a 2-bed.
Okay.
Yeah, going up to around 800, 900,000 and above for the penthouses. But it's just a very, very beautiful development. To our right is Los Arqueros Golf Resort. So that's outside of Atalaya, really. That's
Benahavis.
It's Benahavis, and that will take you onto the Ronda Road, where of course you then join up with places like La Quinta and then eventually Nueva Andalucia. So they all kind of link in together.
I think it's important to note for someone that doesn't know it is how close everything is to everything else. Yeah. Because when you look at it on a map, you don't really get a sense of it. But driving around, it's 2 minutes in one direction, you're in one, 2 minutes in the other direction, you're in the other.
Absolutely.
So in terms of geography, it doesn't really seem to make a big difference. It's more about finding what you like, isn't it?
Yeah. And the prices are still reasonable. Okay, they've crept up a little bit because obviously the demand for anywhere on the Costa del Sol has increased in recent years, particularly with the fact that people can now work from home and they'd rather do it in a sunny climate. But I think the prices here are still relatively good.
And mostly international buyers and residents around here.
I would say so. Yeah, it's very international community. But as I said before, what I like about it is that it's not just 1 or 2 nationalities that are dominating. I mean, for sure, when I got here 20 years ago, it was the Brits, it was the Irish, some Germans, but now it's extended into so many nations. This area that you can hopefully see, I can point now.
Yeah,
in front of us.
Forward. Yeah.
So this area is all kind of going to be developed. So this is the new golf course that's going to be laid out in front of us, which is going to be great. That's the bridge that they put in about 10 years ago to link the golf courses together, but didn't build the golf course.
It's a shame. It's a very nice bridge.
It's a very nice bridge, isn't it? Yeah, so they did that very quickly, but then we've kind of waited for the golf. So this area, I mean, it's only going to add value to this whole place. The more installations and facilities they put in here. And then if we go straight on at the little roundabout at the top of this hill coming up, you eventually come to the back of La Alqueria, which we've just been to, but also a little bit further on, the back of Los Flamingos, and then Marbella Club Golf Resort, and then Montemayor, which is where I live. So all this area is being linked up, and It's pretty cool. So you could turn right. Don't point. You could turn right here and go up to Benahavis village.
The one thing you wouldn't want if one reason why you wouldn't want to buy it in Atalaya, in my opinion.
Go on, the voice of doom.
Is if you had like a sports car, Ferrari or Lamborghini, the speed bumps are about 0.5 meter high, aren't they? They would rip the bum of your car off. Yeah, it's true though, isn't it? As in,
who invented speed bumps? I mean, I know they serve a purpose, I get it, but for goodness sake.
Well, what they do here, it seems, is that the less attention that people pay to the speed bump, the higher they make them. They just come back and put another couple of centimeters, and they go, "Oh, really? You don't stop? Fine. Here's another 5 centimeters." Until the point where you got to stop the car at the speed bump and carefully go over it.
Yeah.
And I noticed in that street where you had the Marques de Atalaya and Guadalmina and the Emotions and all that, the speed bumps there were the sort of 30 centimeter type car bottom ripper-offers.
Oh, yes.
Gazules del Sol. It's great to see all these names you always seeing them all in the flesh.
You'll be getting a job in real estate next.
It's so this is. I mean, they're all gated in, aren't they? That's the important thing to point. Is that again something that we take for granted, but in other parts of the coast, if there's a building development, you can just walk off the street into the maybe the actual building itself has a door that you can't get into, but all of these are gated.
All of them are gated, and most of them have their own security guard, 24 hours, which is good. And I think one of the developers, whichever was first in here, did it, and everyone else kind of had to follow to keep up.
There doesn't seem to be many people.
What, you want people?
Well, like inhabitants. Like, is it all
people?
Like, are there people actually living here?
Yes, I would say most of these developments in this area have probably got about a 30 to 40% resident population.
All right, so for the rest of them, it's holiday homes.
The rest of them, it's second home, holiday home. I mean, at the moment, nice. we're in the summer, aren't we? So a few more of them will be inhabited. So you've probably got about 60 to 70% occupancy at the moment, which is quite high. But mornings tend to be a little bit sleepy. Here we are outside a really well-known and well-liked development called Marques de Atalaya. It's on the Benahavis Road in the area of Atalaya, near the school, near the supermarket. And this was probably the first one to be built here it was an Irish family developer, and it's a really nice development, very large apartments and penthouses, and lots of on-site facilities, which is what attracts people to it. So 24-hour security, you've also got indoor, outdoor pools, gymnasium, little spa area. It's a really nice development. And as with all of them in Atalaya, you're very close to the action down on the coast, and you're very close to Benahavis village as well. So this is just one of the examples of apartments and penthouses in this area. If we spin around a little bit, you'll see the more recent build, and the style of that is the white kind of boxy build. This one is Marques de Guadalmina, and then just a little bit further down the hill is Terrazas de Atalaya. So there's plenty of choice up here. There's about 8 or 9 developments, probably more actually, that you can choose from. Prices starting from around 300,000 euros and obviously going up. But if you like this area and it works for you and what you want it for, then there's plenty of choice. To our right-hand side, if we were to carry on towards the Ronda Road, we come to Los Alqueros.
He's not pointing. You don't want to point, do you? It's going to be the opposite. Just say the direction. To your right-hand side.
To my right-hand side. No.
If you want to be look cool, say you want to do it right, go like this. To my right-hand side.
Oh, yeah. To my right? Oh, that's a bit counterintuitive, that, though, isn't it?
Well, then just say to our right.
Okay.
Don't point.
So don't point, because I did that on one of the videos and it completely confused people.
Yeah, you're going to your right, and in the video, you're pointing to the left. It's just...
So, to our right, it's hard to do, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I should have been a politician.
You could use this for other bits.
Oh, don't be thinking of using it for other agents now.
No, for other bits. With you in it, I'm not going to use other. You just ignore the fact that it's Sean, Diana. You know what I mean?
No one will notice.
I just green screen you out.
No one knows who I am anyway. No one will notice.
Yeah, let's see if we can get a little.
Just put a blanket over my head. I could pretend to be Pia. And Pia's much better than me at this sort of stuff. My God. Honestly, I'm going to have to pitch Pia. I think she's a bit involved there, isn't she? Do you think Pia would switch sides? Do you think her mum would mind?
I think she would mind. Yeah, I think.
Pia, if you're listening, honestly, there's more to life.
Than what?
Than sitting in a beautiful office on the Golden Mile every day, dealing with high-end clients. You could be doing stuff like this. Okay, we're here outside a really well-known and well-liked development called Marques de Atalaya. Is that the name?